Yes, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Variety Hour. I'm Titus O'Reilly, and joining me for this preliminary edition of the Variety Hour, comedian, allegedly, former banner writer.
Turn it up. Here we go.
It's Danny McGinley.
Look out. All right. Just so our listeners know, it is just Titus and myself today, and just at the last minute, I've decided that this show's theme is the Sunday evening program, The Bounce.
I know, you said, let's get stuck into each other like they do on The Bounce before we went to air, and I was
mate.
I've never really got that style of humour.
No,
where it's like pro wrestling, but without the entertainment of pro wrestling. You know, where they just
don't give them ideas. You know, we're going to see Jason in a Hawks jumper and Frawley in a St Kilda jumper wrestling.
Well, you know the thing that like the majority of footy shows when they go to comedy. And there's a few, front bar don't do this, and but Footy Show definitely does, and Triple M has done a lot of this.
What are you talking about?
Which is they do the acting like you're a teenager when you're really 50 years old.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And it's
the new bloke in the dress.
Yeah, and it's kind of amazing to be like, because it requires us to enjoy it. It requires a suspension of disbelief. So they talk to each other like, "Oh, I heard you had a few frothies the other night." You were seen having a few frothies. What's this?
Turn it up. No, I was just having a quiet night with the wife.
Yeah. And you kind of listen to it, and you're going, "Yeah, well, you're allowed to. You're 50. You're a 50-year-old man. This isn't like some amazing insight into you're not 16 and got caught at the local park having a beer. Like
it's always insulted me as a comedian because hey, it's the highest rating show on Fox Footy.
What is The Bounce?
The Bounce. Did you know that? Apart from games, but it outrates 360. Did you know that?
No, the AFL 360 is it used to always outrate it. Has that changed?
That's what I was told.
I don't think that's right.
All right, well, there was a producer at Fox Footy just lying about his own company.
Well, no, it could be right, but when I've looked, AFL 360 each night is the top rating show on Foxtel.
Yeah,
not just
for a weeknight.
Yeah, for a weeknight.
So was it 75,000 roughly?
Something like that. Yeah, it's not as huge as everyone thinks, but those sort of things.
It's an active fan base.
It's a very active fan base.
Do you know? Speaking of Fox Footy comedy, Jared and Robbo are doing the beep test on the last episode of the year this Sunday.
Right,
that'll be fun.
Like that's the biggest crossover since
Avengers Infinity War,
is it?
But yeah, sorry. The point I was going to make is it's footy players who go, "Oh, we're funny. We'll do a comedy show." It's the equivalent of comedians going, "Well, I'm good at footy. Well, let's play a game of footy and we'll throw it on Sunday nights on the Comedy Channel."
Yeah, that's right. It's so
mind you, Comedy Channel. I'm really up for that.
But just once, I'd like someone on that show when someone's sort of getting stuck into them and goes, "Oh, I heard you're out at 3 a.m, and someone, instead of going, "Oh, you've got me," or "I'm dead to rights," going, "Yeah, well, I'm a 56-year-old man, and it was a Saturday night, and I'm allowed to go out, and plus I'm pretty lonely since the divorce."
Yeah, or really good is you're like, "Oh, mate, when you played, you would have just sprayed it out of bounds on the floor and just go." Actually, that's really hurtful. I take great pride in my sporting achievements.
That's actually some really constructive criticism. I think you're right. It's something I've thought about. Yeah, look at you spilling.
I'm spilling coffee, laughing at
How dare you?
The insights of the Bounce crew.
The Bounce crew.
I've really got something to work through with my therapist.
Oh, it does make me laugh. It is amazing. Like when I listen to it, I'm just like, did at some point do you just go... it's that ribbing of your mates, which I like that if it's clever, but if it's just like pointing at, "Oh, look," I remember someone said once to someone at work in front of me, "Oh, look, he's had a haircut." It's like it was this big thing, and I'm like, yeah, we can all see. And there was another guy who I know who tells me that on his first day at this, he worked at this job for a while. It was just like I think it was sort of in the it was a procurement company sort of thing, right? So
I don't even know what that means. Right.
They procure things.
Okay.
So anyway, it was managing orders and stuff for supermarkets and stuff like that. So, but I don't think he was working for the actual supermarket. But he said comes from day one and first day at work, and the dress code was sort of like shirt, suit pants, no tie, no need to wear ties, right?
Smart, so he's casual.
Yeah, semi, So he's wearing a blue shirt, right?
Okay, classic.
Not just a normal business blue shirt. Yep. No particular interesting colour or variant or pattern.
Oh, yeah.
This guy.
Hang on, can I predict it? Is it, I like your shirt, does it come in men's?
No. It's even worse
Great
than that.
line from Chopper.
It's great, yeah. It's even worse than that.
Okay.
So this guy goes, yeah, blue shirt, eh? And he goes, yeah. He goes, okay. Anyway, they move on. Next day, the guy he's not wearing a blue shirt. The next day, he's wearing like a white shirt or something, I don't know. And the guy says to him, it's blue shirt guy. And proceeded to call him blue shirt guy for the year or two he worked there.
I like this guy. No, that's next level. That's brilliant.
It's so dumb.
I'm all for that. No, there's literally a guy who I still see from high school, and my kids still call him Frog. And my wife asked me, "Why do you call him Frog?" I've called him Frog since he got introduced to me as Frog. He was a year above me in high school, and then I had to go, hang on, I don't know why. And then I had to ask another mate's older brother who was on the set. Why do you call him Frog? I go, day one of high school, he wore a hat with a frog on it. So,
did you finish high school?
Yeah. Well, it was the state school, so yes, I was there on the last day and I did exams and I got a VCE. Yeah. But it's like everyone gets.
I never went to high school.
No,
No, when I finished school, we didn't have high school. It's only a couple of years later.
Well, you are that old, mate. Hey, were you riding chariots there? Hey, look at you peanut. Hey,
you're gonna get a contract before you know. Or the end of someone hears this podcast and then gee,
I really hope no one does.
Actually, we could create a second podcast where we just do it in character the whole time.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. What was that? Macca and the Tit Man.
People wouldn't even notice that it was. People would, you get all these listeners that just thought it was just a normal show.
Let's do a short little 3-minute sketch as Macca and the Tit Man.
Well, it's a bit like the other day there was when you flick around, there's a movie on Foxtel that and there's some that you'll always tune into.
Oh yeah. There was a top 100 films that everyone has to watch the end of.
Yeah. And there's always one's
Shawshank, I think.
Yeah, Shawshank's always.
Ocean's 11.
It was voted by AFL players, was it? So the other one that was on the other day was The Other Guys. With the Will Ferrell and...
okay. I was thinking The Nice Guys with Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling.
No, I've seen that one, but this is The Other Guys, and there's a bit where Mark Wahlberg's character, his ex-girlfriend he's trying to get back with is at a ballet class, and she's doing ballet, and she's a professional dancer, and she's dancing with this other guy who's a professional dancer, and he's like, who's this guy? And she's like, he's my dance partner. And he goes, you think I can't dance? And he executes this perfect ballet dance routine.
Oh.
She goes, where'd you learn that? And he goes, I learned it to mock the kids down the road that used to dance. And he's just learnt it perfectly. And that could be our commitment to mocking Triple M's coverage by doing a satirical take
of it. Oh, yeah.
But it's so accurate, no one even notices. Everyone goes, this is really good, and they offer us a show.
Well, that's. I know I mentioned this on a podcast a few weeks ago. That is ultimately why Armageddon and Con Air and The Rock are the greatest action movies, because they're sort of taking the piss, but they're doing it with a complete straight face, so you don't realise that it's a comedy.
It's really a comedy, yeah. I know, like the piano. We should add, we talked about this briefly when you were, I don't know if we've talked about it since it came out, but you're in that new movie, The Merger.
Oh, yeah. Actually, by the time you listen to us, it's sort of the old movie, The Merger. It's it's still on a few screens around Australia. But yeah, please go and support it.
But you were in it.
Oh, yeah, I got a cameo.
Have you got an IMDb page yet?
I do, yeah.
Do you really?
Do you know what's weird? My IMDb page was set up for when I was a guest on a Channel 31 show. Clearly the creator.
Who showed it up? Who set it up?
I don't know. Someone who's in charge of that show.
So not you, obviously.
No, I don't have IMDb Pro, which I think is what you need to do it.
To actually do it.
Yeah, but
so anyone could technically go in and create one of themselves.
If you pay money, yeah, you totally can. You just need to be able to be linked to actual productions.
Fact check it, or
I don't know. I know Tony Martin does most of the IMDb upgrades in Australia.
Oh, he's one of the most. Eye on it.
He does, yeah. But yeah, none of my game day sketches.
Apparently, they edit it and all that.
They do,
stuff.
yeah. They've got
people who check it. So your game day sketches are on there,
No, they're not on there. So the TV show I'm on the most is not listed.
Right.
So
well, someone better get working
Could some
on
nerd
that.
out there do it? Actually, and do you know what's weird? I'd like a Wikipedia page. I'm still, as far as last time I checked, I'm still in the Western Bulldogs Wikipedia page, but I don't have my own page. So don't delete me from the Bulldogs one yet, please.
See,
and could I get my own?
was on the... I don't have a Wikipedia page, but I...
Come on, nerds, build it for us, please.
Well, I think it's probably an accurate reflection of where I am in my career to not have a Wikipedia page, to be honest. But when Melbourne had a list on their page for a while of notable fans or famous fans, and I was on there.
There you go.
And then someone sent it and said, "Hey, you're on this." And I looked and it's got like Neil Mitchell, Alan Stockdale, me. It's all like
there you go.
And then they said, "Oh, you're on there." And then someone then tells me about a week later, "Oh, they've deleted just you." So someone's gone in and now they've removed that whole section. But originally,
well, if Neil Mitchell's headlining, that's pretty depressing.
There was no one who was under sort of 60.
We've at least got a Prime Minister in Will Anderson, so.
Oh yeah, you got Gillard, don't you?
Yeah, and ScoMo was pretending to be a fan of ours for a while. Now he's ScoMo. Did he?
I don't like anyone that uses their own... I don't know if he came up with that nickname, ScoMo,
no,
but he keeps using it and introduces himself as ScoMo to people. And he did it on the news to this tradie, and this tradie just goes, "What?" This tradie didn't know he was the Prime Minister.
Brilliant.
He captured on... He goes, "Hi, I'm ScoMo." He's like, "What?"
More like Scummo. Got him. Thank you. Hey, take that, Scummo.
Remember Dean Robinson, the guy in the Essendon saga?
The weapon.
Apparently that was a self-given nickname.
Tommy Little calls himself the weapon as well, and that's self-given, but it's so over the top that I'll allow it.
Yeah, you can only give yourself a nickname if it's so obviously a joke or, running yourself down, or it's a purposely terrible nickname.
No, and full credit to you, Donkey. This is why everyone's got behind you on this.
You were telling me just before we get on to some of the things, you were telling me just before we went on air, which I hadn't heard, because I'm flying over to Perth tomorrow.
Yeah, for the Big D's Eagles prelim.
Which I cannot wait. I'm really looking forward to it. And I think it's going to be...
Your first time at Perth Stadium? No, you've been before.
I've been there before, and I've been to Perth 3 times this year already.
All right, mate, we've all got things.
Well, it's a parole thing.
You have to go and check
I have to go quarterly. So this works out perfectly for me. I have to change the batteries in my ankle bracelet. No, but I've been over 3 times already, so I'm looking forward to this one, because I think it will be fun. And, actually, WA fans are always fun to talk to, because you've got that, like... They're just so into football. I find if you go to Adelaide or Perth and Brisbane and Sydney, if you go outside of Melbourne, there's just a different vibe to it all, and they're just so full on. It's great. Like, going to the Showdown was the best game I've been to this year outside of the Melbourne finals.
When I saw the Dogs play Port a couple of years ago, I loved the Port fans because they were proper feral fans.
Yeah,
they were great.
But the thing I like about Australian fans, apart from a few idiots, is even when they're absolutely there's always good calls, and people seem to be more like the thing about Melbourne Victorian fans or Australian fans at AFL and at other sports is instead of trying to throw a brick at someone or something, someone will try and yell out the funniest one-liner.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the culture, and even if it's against your team, you kind of go, "That was a good call."
Yeah, you've made a career out of this. You're just pro.
But they do. That's what I love. Like, wherever you are, it's just good fun. Like that sort of thing.
What I used to do, I've talked about this on stage, is I like to stand at the footy. I like to stand in the bottom level of Docklands.
Yeah,
I'll stand behind, and I'll usually start on the wing, and then I'll keep yelling stuff out till I get a laugh, and then once I've got a laugh, then you move like 2 bays over. Do the joke again. So you can do the whole ground.
Most games you don't move at all.
Well, it's usually a Bulldogs game, so I can go up to people individually and just tell them the joke. G'day, Jeff.
There's plenty. You only need to do 2 bays and you're done.
The Dogs players stop. They'll just say, "Hey, Danny's saying something. Come over, tell us."
So I'm flying over tomorrow. You were telling me that there's an Eagles fan.
Yes. I saw this headline.
Tell me what they're doing.
She is driving. She's left Perth. She's driving to Melbourne early, like now.
For the grand final.
She's
that confident.
Yep. Good on her.
Yeah, I'm probably as confident as her, and she's probably
I
not
wish this
wasted
was
a
the
trip.
grand final. West Coast, Melbourne.
Well,
I wish it was.
There is this terrifying thought in my mind that Collingwood could win. Imagine losing to Collingwood in a premiership.
Oh, man, losing to Collingwood in a final is one of the most horrible things I've ever lived through.
Yeah.
Losing to Hawthorn in a final's not great as well.
No, but yeah,
Losing to Geelong is our natural habitat, so I'm used to that.
I still think it's going to be a Richmond Eagles grand final.
Yeah, you tend to just go with the ones who've had a break. But like last year, it was both teams that had a break. The year before, neither team that had a break got through.
Yeah, I know. But you look at it and go, Richmond is still the most organised.
Haven't you heard? Dusty's had his leg amputated.
And he got... But when you think about it, Dusty will be fine. And then you got look at Richmond, they're probably going to be Collingwood. Collingwood will give them a good go, but Richmond are the better organised overall and have slightly more talent.
Yeah, but you just hope that...
That's not talking down Collingwood because they've been excellent this year. Then you look at Melbourne have got to travel to Perth, which is always talking to footballers, they say that is the hardest thing to do. And then they won by 17 points last time, but that was there was a few outs. I think Hibberd didn't play in that and a few outs, but then there was also Kennedy didn't play at all and Darling played.
Yeah.
So, in only the first 10 minutes and then went off injured. So you look at that and go, facing the Eagles with Darling and Kennedy fit, it's going to be a lot harder.
Yeah.
Than what than the last time. And the way everyone's got behind Melbourne and their momentum and all that is all, interesting. But there's a reason those two were 1 and 2. Today's the first day the real panic set in. I think Melbourne could win. I think both these games are genuinely look competitive. Sometimes you go into these going, there's no way so-and-so is going to beat so-and-so. I think Collingwood have been so impressive in recent times, even people thinking they can maybe beat Richmond, but I don't think they can. I still think Richmond are going to be premiers.
How dull. I hope the Richmondiness just kicks in because,
there is no Richmondy. They got rid of it.
They could bring it back. It was, as you've said many times, it was our comedy Pilbara.
Yeah, it was
just
terrific.
Keep mining it.
I know, but it's gone. Let it go.
No.
And then I thought Melbourne were going to fill the gap. Now they're just absolutely...
Thank God for St Kilda.
St Kilda and Carlton. Adelaide have really stepped up for the jokes this year with their pre-season camp.
GWS as well.
GWS, Gold Coast Suns.
Oh, yeah.
Suns have been terrific.
But they're just not as good as unrefined Richmondy.
The best is when you've got a fan base that is a big fan base, highly engaged, and their team's going awful.
Oh, yeah.
And then you say a joke, and there's because everyone hates that team. No one's sitting around going, gee, I hate the Suns.
Yeah, that's true.
So you make a joke about the Suns, and everyone's like, yeah, that's good. But Carlton are still gold.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed this week on Twitter I did one where I said, the strawberry crisis has escalated with Carlton memberships found in punnets of strawberry.
Very good joke. Very good.
I had a few people going, too soon. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Well, maybe they just died of strawberry.
No one's died
needle death.
they just found needles. But, I love when people get sensitive like that and go too soon. But then a few Carlton supporters got annoyed and they and not many, most of them actually, even as Carlton supporters, took it in good humour. But one or two went, oh, well, Melbourne have only been good this season.
Yeah,
and I'm just like...
you've lost the argument then.
Yeah, they go, oh, and I love when people say to me, now, one good season, you get all lippy. And I go, hang on, I've been doing this for a decade almost
the
now.
feed, buddy.
Yeah, I was doing this when we were the worst team in the comp. If I waited for Melbourne just to be good, I'd do about one tweet a year, which some people would say would be improvement. I'd tweet every 12 years. Talking of Adelaide and the nonsense going on there, Mitch McGovern has announced he wants to go to Carlton. Now, this raised a lot of eyebrows because...
maybe he's a big fan of the zoo.
I wonder, like, it is a weird one. Now, Kane Corns.
Here we go. What's the brain
You'd be
trust
surprised to know that Kane Corns has come in off the long run.
Really?
Not like him.
How does he have time to make comments?
Usually a bit more measured.
Because he's very busy at NASA.
I love how on SEN they go from it's Gerald Whateley most of the time, and then when he's off, they gear shift and put in Kane Corns. Now that's like going from neutral to sixth.
It's like Obama to Trump.
Yeah, it's like absolutely mad. Like if you're a regular Whateley listener, which I don't know if there's many, but if you are, suddenly you tune in and it's Kane Corns. It's not a like for like swap, is it? Or if you like Kane Corns and you get Whateley, like there couldn't be two more. One's this considered
It's avocado and wasabi.
It's right.
Just, there's that green thing. I'm
damn it, it's avocado. So Corns has come out and said that Mitch McGovern can't be serious about requesting a move to Carlton, saying leaving to win 3 games at the Blues is just purely for the money.
Is there anything wrong with that, though? These are professional sports.
McGovern was contracted until 2020. He only signed that, I think, about a year ago from memory, but has sort of become disillusioned. Now, it would be fair to say, at first when the Crows lost like Dangerfield and stuff, I was thinking, well, they've been unlucky there because he just wants to come home to,
to that creek.
To that creek, Moggs Creek or whatever.
Is that it? Sure.
Schitt's Creek. It's
Yeah,
a good show.
Ship's Creek.
Ship's Creek. So I'm thinking, well, you can't have one. But now it seems to be people are leaving the Crows specifically with such regularity and good players too. You had Charlie Cameron, Lever left. Now, some of these are money being thrown at them, but some of it there has to be something.
Yeah, another reason.
It's too many to just kind of, for a side. It's too many for a side that's been as good as it's been. Like you look at Adelaide, they played Adelaide Oval, which is the best ground in Australia.
Yes.
I reckon. I think it's better than the MCG.
Huge.
And I think Perth's amazing, but there's something about Adelaide Oval. It's got that sort of character that none of the other grounds have.
It's just got that old stadium feel, but
the design of it is really
it's a cauldron.
Yeah. It's and then so you've got that. Adelaide, despite the regular jokes, is actually quite a fun town, and you can have a very high quality of life living there.
Yeah, that's true. Especially on
and it's
on
not
AFL
like
money.
Yeah, and you can be back in Melbourne whenever you
40
want.
minutes.
So it's not like you can't get home to Melbourne if you want to, or spend a lot of the off season here and all that sort of stuff, right? So you got all that, and you're in Melbourne every second week anyway, So you've got all that. So I just don't get. And then they've been a very good side. They played in the grand final only a year ago, and they only just really missed finals this year, given everything. So you look at it and go, something. It's not like it was Brisbane or the Suns currently, where why players are getting out.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's many theories going around. I don't have a theory, but I do have a solution. What the AFL needs to do is, if you're leaving the Crows, you can only go to the Suns, and vice versa.
Right.
So within 3 years, entire squad swapped.
That's a possibility.
It did say, I like the quote from what was it? The Colin Young, McGovern's manager, said that his client had a belief on thoughts on where the club was going, and he left out to a bigger house.
The other one was Malcolm Blight came out and said McGovern should just tell the truth. How can you make a decision like that? Tell the truth. I'm going for cash because I'm hungry for cash, Blight said.
Generally, I think that's a good idea because nothing would endear you more to Carlton supporters. They're just going to go, yeah, fair enough. That's why we support Carlton as well.
We might just love the environment.
Loves the zoo. The new elephant enclosure, it's great.
The thing is, it probably is money, but I don't believe that money on its own is the pure thing. I mean, I think there are cases where someone offers so much money and it could, it's so materially above where their current club can offer.
Yeah.
That, it would be very hard to say no.
But also playing for a big Victorian club can help you in the future. This is why Nathan Brown left the Bulldogs. I think it was
to go to Richmond.
To go to Richmond. Someone at Collingwood said, mate, the great thing about playing for Collingwood is we have 100,000 fans at least, probably 200,000 fans.
Yeah.
And you've played for them, so you go to get your car fixed and the guy's a Collingwood supporter, you're not paying full price. And that's what Nathan Brown went, oh, yeah. So
I love that. Yeah, you get cheap servicing in your car. But, it's really paid off with him with those betting ads he's in.
You should see the odds he gets, though.
It's a huge career. So anyway, that's it's sort of interesting about White. But, I mean, of course money's going to be part of it, but it sounds to me like McGovern has, for whatever reason, just had a falling out in some regard. And at the moment, the Crows, after that, you keep hearing, and I talked to quite a few people over there in Adelaide when I was over there 2 weeks ago. I was there last week, sorry.
Sure. These are the details we need.
I was there last Friday, and, there seems to be... People will say to you, no one knows the full story, but everyone seems to agree that the Crows have handled it terribly, and the players are genuinely still very annoyed. Yeah. And you know that from the leaks that are coming out. So McGovern's just one of the players that is annoyed, if you know what I mean. So
you need one something.
So the Crows have to... And also, I've noticed with the Crows, like, they absolutely crucify anyone that leaves.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, Lever got crucified.
Apparently that was one of the issues on the camp. There was a lot of anti-Lever talk and a lot of players, he's still my mate.
Yeah, that's right. And they're in a business. And the Crows would cut anyone the minute... Like, not just Crows, any footy club would cut anyone the minute they could.
Loyalty is not a two-way street in footy.
So that's the funny thing. They'll demand it to players. But so anyway, it's interesting that he wants to leave it. But I think Blight and all that are all just getting a bit of a head start. I mean, of course, it's partly money, but they don't know the full reason.
No, well, and are we
ever
going
even if that's true, really, no player in the history of time's come out and said, the money is just so much better.
Didn't LeBron do that? At Miami?
No, he's always... I can pick my own friends to play with you.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Now, on the back of last week's Collingwood game, we know that... tell me if this is an over or under, you think. How many people... 30 people were evicted from the Collingwood game against the Giants last week for antisocial or drunken incidents. Do you think that's higher or lower than you would have suspected? It was a crowd of 72,000 and we only had 30 people kicked out for being drunk, basically.
Collingwood finals.
Pretty low.
Good. Yeah, well done, Collingwood.
Well, yeah, good. Now, the Victorian Police have come out and warned Richmond fans and Collingwood fans that they need to behave. Now, they probably put this out every time there's a game, but it's just funnier because it's Richmond.
Yeah. It's like when your teachers would say, hey, you're not allowed to do muck-up day this year. It's like, of course.
Totally.
Sure. Yep.
I'm calling this the Battle of the Ferals.
Oh, definitely.
Because it's going to be absolutely... it's going to be deafening there. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, prelims are always the loudest. It would be genuinely exciting if it wasn't so terrifying.
Now, the police are looking at it and they've got... It's going to be probably up to 100,000 there at the game. And then it's going to be a sellout crowd across the road too for Amy Park with the Storm are taking on the Sharks. So you're going to have that's another sort of 30,000.
Yeah. Are we expecting a lot of Sharks fans to fly down to Melbourne for it? Are they aware that that a Muslim plays for Richmond?
So this is going to be a real...
Oh, no.
You think there could be a riot?
They're not going to be happy about that. Shire. And that's Amy Park. That's near the Vietnamese precinct of the East. Oh, God.
You've just besmirched a whole fan base.
Yeah. Based on when they're called the Cronulla riots.
You think that'd be a better...
I think I'm allowed to tease the footy club. Anyway, ScoMo goes for the Sharks, apparently.
He does.
ScoMo.
So that's pretty interesting that they've sort of called out. So it's going to be a huge crowd. I think overall they're pretty well behaved. 30 people. I mean, it's not... it's not great when anyone does anything, but...
No. How many arrests were there after Richmond won the grand final? There was only
not many.
About 30 or so, yeah.
It's all overplayed. There's always a few drunken idiots.
Oh, mate, Bulldogs got 0.
So, allegedly.
That's all I need.
I know what you did.
But the cops don't.
I'm onto you. So, behave yourselves, Richmond and Pies fans, but they're usually pretty good, I think.
Yeah, and if you're going to hurt each other, just hurt other idiots. So, we'll put you in a special...
That's right. Do you think that's right, the special idiot zone?
Well, that's what they do in EPL, the English Premier League. A lot of the hooligans have been banned, so now the hardcore groups will organise fights on social media. But it's very gentlemanly. It's like, all right, we'll meet you at this park at this time.
Yeah, because we can't go to the...
Because they can't go to the game. So it's almost dignified.
Almost.
Go West Ham.
Now, we had an interesting one this week that the SANFL, we talked about this. I talked about this on Tuesday, where in the preliminary final there was too many. The Roosters had too many men on the field.
This is North Adelaide Roosters.
Yeah, playing against the Woodville West Torrens Eagles.
Yep.
And so the SANFL had to go away and decide, because it was a close game and there were points scored while there was an extra man on the field, and therefore if you didn't count the score while that extra player was on the field, the decision would be reversed and the Eagles would be playing, not the Roosters, in the grand final this week. So the SANFL had to go away and meet and have a decision. And they had a meeting that I think went on for 8 or 9 weeks. It went on forever. And I thought, well, you've either got to... It's a bit like, remember when they found Melbourne... They fined Melbourne for being not guilty of tanking. Do you remember that?
Oh,
Melbourne didn't get fined. Melbourne weren't found to be guilty of tanking.
Oh, but you got fined anyway.
You got fined anyway.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, right.
This is the thing about the AFL, is you can be fined even though you're not guilty.
Well, yeah.
That's what happened. I mean, I think they did tank, but I'm just saying the AFL didn't say that. They said they were not guilty of it, right?
Yeah.
And then fined them anyway. And it's like, what is this, a marriage? You can get in trouble even if you haven't done anything. So with this one, I thought the SANFL either has to find that they don't believe the result was materially impacted by the extra man on the field, or it was, and therefore the only sensible decision to me is the Roosters can't play. The result is reversed.
Yeah, that's right. Or
like if you find
replay the last quarter.
Well, they can't even do it. But you either the extra man gave the advantage to the point where those scores helped, and therefore that was the only reason they won. That's the finding.
Yep.
Or the finding is it was immaterial. It didn't seem to affect play.
Yeah.
Which, maybe if the player just ran around and did nothing, or didn't get a possession or something, you could maybe argue that. Therefore,
who was the player? Was it Ty Vickery? Then it's fine.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. So you look at that and go, well, that would be fine. So the SANFL meet forever, and I'm thinking they got to go one or the other way. Well, they don't. They do what the AFL did. They sort of find the Roosters guilty.
Yeah,
but then come up with this. So this is the punishment. So they find them guilty, and they dock them 4 premiership points for next season. Now, 4 premiership points in the SANFL is 2 games, 2 wins.
Right,
because I think it's 2 instead of 4.
Right, okay.
For a win. So it's like docking them 2, and they've docked them $10,000, right? So what I don't get is if they've been found sort of guilty of having too many men, and that sort of
it might be easier, Titus. You just tell us what you do get, because this is a very confusing scenario.
Why are they punishing them at all if it didn't have an impact? Or if it did have an impact, why doesn't the punishment fit the crime?
Yep.
Why is it to do with next season?
Sure, local footy, if you're found with too many men on the field, your score gets rubbed out.
Gets up to that point, gets rubbed out.
Yeah.
So to me, this was actually like I know it's a hard decision, but a relatively simple decision. The Roosters lose the game. Like
the Swans and the Kangaroos did this in AFL a couple of years ago. The Swans had too many players on the field for a bit. And I don't remember what the punishment was. I do remember the very next week, though, the Bulldogs played the Kangaroos.
Yeah.
And a free kick went to the Bulldogs, and a Kangaroos fan near me went, "There's 19 players against us again," which was very good.
So to me, this makes no sense to me, this decision, like the SANFL have made. Like I would have preferred they come out and said they didn't think it had a material impact and therefore play on.
Yeah.
Or they said it did, you're banned.
Well, they should be congratulated.
Say you're guilty enough that we're going to take 2 wins off you next season straight away, 4 competition points, and we're going to fine you $10,000. Well, so we're punishing you quite heavily, but it's not. The punishment doesn't fit.
They should be congratulated. They've found a solution that annoys everyone.
Someone steals something off someone. Someone steals your TV, and the police say, "Yep, totally stole your TV. Pay him back $5."
Yeah,
and you're like, "How's that?" And they go, "Well, we've punished him." And you're like, oh, "It's not nothing. I want the TV back. Like, I don't want the $5.
Yeah,
TV's a lot more than $5. A grand final win. So the Eagles have come out. Woodville West Torrens have come out and said that they're going to sue well, they're going to launch first before they sue. They've asked for compensation because they're saying, well, we not only have we missed a grand final where the winner in the SANFL of the grand final wins 20,000 and the runner-up gets 10,000.
Okay.
So that punishment of 10,000 the Roosters are getting fined just means they're not going to get.
If they come, they'll get nothing if they come.
If they runner up and they only get 10,000.
That'll fire up the boys even more. There ain't no second prize.
Yeah. And then they said also there's membership, merchandise and functions that stem from a grand final appearance that now they're missing out on.
Who's the other team in the grand final, do you know?
It is
South Adelaide Panthers, Central Bulldogs, Port Magpies.
I should know this because I didn't know
Glenelg
this when
Tigers,
I was looking at it last night.
Sturt 2 Blues.
Are you just making up?
I am saying all the teams that I can remember. Bloods. That's apparently my team. West Adelaide Bloods.
That's your team, is it?
It's my mate Mickey D's team, and I said I'd go for his team.
Right, that's your team.
Redlegs, Norwood Redlegs. Surely I've named all of them.
It's Norwood.
It is Norwood. Yeah. Redlegs.
So the thing there though is,
surely everyone wants Norwood to win now. They're being tactfully quiet.
Yeah, well, everyone except most of SANFL hate Norwood, so there you go.
Not as much as they hate Port.
Oh, they all hate everyone. It's one of the great things of being a football fan. You get to hate people.
Idiots who aren't into sport.
That's right. So anyway, I just think it's mad. I just think it's the craziest decision. And I just... It's like they just didn't want... we don't want to take a grand final off them.
Yeah.
That was it.
It's a hard decision. They should... I would have gone replay the last quarter. If that's when it happened, just replay it midweek.
Yeah.
I don't know. Work something.
But to me, the problem was, like, the first bit is you either find them guilty or not. So if they'd come out and just said, we don't think it had a material impact, fine. People might not agree with that, but then at least it makes sense.
Yeah, then it's a real decision.
But to come out and say, you're guilty of it, so guilty, in fact, we're going to dock you 2 games and take 10 grand. You go, well, if it's that serious, why are they playing in the grand final?
Yeah.
And then if they win the grand final, that's the other thing. The SANFL set it up. They win the grand final. I mean, it's a joke. I've never been so angry about the SANFL before.
Yeah, I don't think anyone has. most South Australians are quite relaxed.
No, they're not. They're not.
Well, no, sorry. Everyone except Port fans are quite relaxed.
You know that we've always been big fans here of T-shirt guns.
Oh,
cannons.
You are a member of the NTA.
The fact that
National T-shirt Guns Association.
Now I've railed against...
I've tried to get you that T-shirt gun from you, but you keep saying from my
cold dead hands. The only way to stop a bad guy with a T-shirt gun is a good guy with a T-shirt gun.
You know that T-shirt guns don't give people T-shirts. It's T-shirts do. People do.
Yeah, you're close to getting it right. I also like T-shirts guns because I think it's about sharing free T-shirts with the people who don't have as good a seats as the rich people. So to get the T-shirts
it's
to the people that deserve them the most, the hardcore fans.
Yeah.
The only delivery mechanism I have faith in is a T-shirt gun. So that's why I'm so passionate about it. But Victoria Police have banned it. Now there are some that seem to be being used in Melbourne at the moment.
Oh, really?
That aren't obviously powered a different way to the ones that police have categorised them.
Well, you can't use T-shirt powder.
Yeah, that's right. There's certain things.
Got to use a vacuum. Well, ever since Maud Flanders died, we've all been a bit.
That's right.
Worried.
Everyone's been a bit. That's the case people bring up with me, and I say, it was sad when a cartoon character got killed in a cartoon.
Well, you've seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
That's the sort of propaganda that the Hollywood left have been churning out. It's not even a real person against T-shirt guns.
Well, it's got to be dangerous because, you see Wile E. Coyote have an entire boulder fall on him and he walks away as an accordion.
Yes.
Whereas a T-shirt gun actually killed her.
Well, that's true.
The only thing that could kill her is Depp from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, allegedly.
So the Victoria Police came out and banned them in Australia or in Victoria. And the thing I find kind of interesting about this is... maybe they have a point because on the weekend in a college football game, Colorado were playing and they have a mascot, Chip the Buffalo.
Chip the Buffalo, okay.
Right. Now, he was using a T-shirt gun and managed to hold it the wrong way around,
Uh-oh.
which is just poor T-shirt gun safety.
Yeah, he
So this is
really needed to be educated, poor chip.
And shot himself point blank in the groin.
Oh.
And went down hard.
Oh.
And had to be carted off.
Is there footage of this?
Yeah, it's on Twitter and YouTube and everything.
I will be looking that up.
Yeah, it's quite funny. So he nails himself in the groin.
Oh, good, I'll do it live on air.
He goes down and then stays down. They bring out the cart that they usually use for players, and he stays in character. He refuses to take his helmet off or his head off, and is lying there. And then the best bit, as he goes off on the cart, the whole crowd cheers like an injured athlete going off, and he gives the thumbs up. I'm okay.
Do you know what's weird? I've looked up Chip the Buffalo, and I've got there's nothing there. So I've looked by an amount of views. Surely that would be it. So far, nothing. I'll go to upload date.
You go to Colorado mascot.
All right, Colorado mascot.
Try
That's
that.
probably better.
It's great. Great for people listening on the podcast.
Hey, well, no, this is what you can...
to be kept up to date with
here
what
we go,
you're
Colorado
Googling on your
mascot.
phone.
There's footage of him being carted off the field. That's a 20-second video.
There's footage of all of it. So if you know how to use the internet and search for things, something Danny's obviously
what's going on?
New to.
I mean, this is an old phone. The internet's in black and white on it. It's, can someone fax me the footage of Chip the Buffalo? Just like lots of pages, and I'll do it like a flip book.
I'll fax you the link. So anyway, I thought that was so sometimes you just got to be careful with the T-shirt gun. That's my one bit of advice. We asked
Can you imagine? How much damage can you do with a T-shirt gun? We need to
Well, there was North Melbourne.
If you do it execution style or gangland style.
Yeah. North Melbourne had one that was like a 12-shooter. So it was literally like 12 sort of pipes. Okay. And you could load 12 T-shirts in, and then you would spin a handle like a Gatling gun, and it would just spray T-shirts over everywhere.
And that's good, 12, so it went to all their fans.
That's right. And so the police came out and banned them. And so Serge and I, when we were doing a tour a couple of years ago when this was all happening, we tried to get our hands on one to have at the show.
On the T-shirt gun black market.
Yeah, well, and say how ridiculous it is, but it was because we were talking about it so much. So we actually contacted North Melbourne.
Oh, yeah.
And said, can we have yours? And they were like, they laughed, but they said, genuinely, we think the police have told us we can't use it. It's basically they'd impounded it. And I think North still had it, but it was locked up and they weren't using it. And the police, I don't know whether the police were going to get it or whatever, but they weren't using it. And they were like, even as like for a joke, we can't lend it to you. And
where are the gun shops in Melbourne? There is one in North Melbourne.
There's one in Melbourne. There's one in Northcote.
There's one in Northcote. We should go in and just see if they've got any black market under the table.
I always like to,
guns.
if I see it, there's not many gun shops, but I always like to know where they are because
for the zombie apocalypse.
Right. I'm always thinking,
yeah.
Although that's what everyone will do.
Go to the gun shops.
Yeah.
That and shopping malls because of Dawn of the Dead.
Right.
You got to, yeah. I had my plan, but then when I worked as a Black Thunder driver, my plan was
Was that for Triple M?
Triple M and Fox FM. I did them both.
My plan was were they Black Thunder for Fox?
Black Thunder's for Fox.
This was when you drive around and do promos and hand
Rock
out
Patrol for Triple M, although for the years I was there, they were called the Freaks on the Street.
When you were Rock Patrol, could you pull over people if they were playing, say, Maroon 5 and arrest them?
Yes. For crimes against... I know, Triple M was playing Maroon 5 at that stage.
Right. So that
was my plan because there was radio stations are quite secure, but also there's all that food in the basement, so you can live off that for a few weeks. Yeah, there.
And you can also get your own show.
Yeah,
no one's listening. It's like everyone's dead, but there you go.
I just play Zombie by the Cranberries non-stop.
Loop.
Yeah.
We should just finish off by talking about the two games. So Richmond Pies tonight.
Is it tonight? Is this going up?
Oh, Friday, sorry.
Yeah,
we're Thursday today.
Very excited. So I'm going to a pub to watch it. I'm excited to just get the atmosphere and the loudness. It'll be weird going for Collingwood, because I want the upset.
Collingwood?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Collingwood. I like the upset. And all, and Richmond, going back to Richmondy is what I want. So sorry, Tigers fans, if you're upset, just go watch the 2017 grand final.
They're not going to be upset with you because I think, well, they're just as happy as they've ever been in their life.
That's true.
They don't even notice.
That's true. So yeah, I'll be going for Collingwood. I don't want Collingwood to win the grand final, but it'd be nice for the Bucks to get there.
Yeah, see, I'm so nervous about Melbourne, I barely thought about Richmond Collingwood.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm just taking it 1 week at a time. I don't want to get ahead of myself when people say that you'll prefer to play in the grand final.
I remember driving to the pub to watch the Bulldogs GWS prelim, just completely nervous.
Yeah.
Something. And I even said to my wife, who was in the passenger seat, just going, it's statistically probable that all of these other cars on the road aren't going to go and watch the game. And I can't even fathom that.
Well, I don't know how you live in Melbourne and you're not going to watch the prelim.
Yeah.
That's how we get.
You could go see The Merger. It's a great film.
That's how we deal with population problems. With anyone not in front of a TV while the footy's on is deported.
There we go. Talk to Fraser Anning.
Go live in Sydney if you don't like sport.
Yeah. Or life.
All right.
Good luck to you, D's. I will be supporting you guys.
D's and the Eagles. I still think the Eagles are probably going to get up, but I'm not saying that as a reverse jinx. Although if it would work as a reverse jinx, I'll definitely say it. But
now you've triple jinx.
Triple jinx. I don't know who I've jinxed now.
Quad jinx. Oh God!
I genuinely think Melbourne are in great form, and that can often count for a lot. So I can see them winning, but I think Eagles, they match with those. If Darling and Kennedy haven't played a lot over the last little bit, but if they're in good form, they're very hard to stop. So that's where I get a little nervous. But and being in Perth with that crowd, it's going to be so loud.
I think if it's close, I think the Eagles will win. But I think I could totally see you jumping them.
I don't know how I'd handle that.
You winning?
Oh yeah, no. This has already been stressful enough. I don't know how people do this every year.
The last time
I'm going to need another 12 years off.
The last time Melbourne were in a grand final, Clinton was president.
Yeah, 2000.
Yeah. How did you celebrate back then? You had to ring people on their landline.
That's right.
You were trying to gloat on dial-up internet.
We were playing Essendon, so the whole week, and that was that really good Essendon side.
Yeah.
So that whole week was me just trying to convince myself that it was potentially possible we could actually win.
I remember everyone was secretly would have loved Melbourne to have won.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I think the Eagles are the Eagles are over there. That is a hard trip, and then I just think they're very good. So, there's a reason they finished second. So I think, I think they'll both. I think both should be good games. I think Richmond will win, and I think Eagles will win.
All right. Well, I'm
quite happy to be wrong.
Yep.
Very happy to be wrong.
Collingwood Melbourne grand final in the
That would be bizarre at Collingwood Melbourne grand final.
I would love the training. You're right next to each other. Gosh's paddock and Gosh's paddock.
Yeah, and no one would have predicted that at the start of the year.
Yeah.
Well, not many. There might have been. There's always one. There's always someone in the media who does like the Hail Mary.
Yeah.
And they figure, well, if I get it right, I'll appear like a genius.
Yeah. The kiss of death actually predicted this.
So, but I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to getting to Perth. I think it's going to be a great atmosphere and going to be good fun.
And you're going with our friend of the show, Broden Kelly. Very exciting.
Yes, Broden's from Auntie Donna. He's coming over.
Big D's man.
I kept shooting him texts, image snapshots of flights because at first he wasn't coming. So I just kept saying,
all right, bloody hell, I'm going to come along and watch the football
game.
Oh,
if I go...
If you don't know Auntie Donna, man, do yourselves a favour. You spend an afternoon just watching their idiot circus is the funniest thing. That's not a specific video, by the way. That's just what I've described their shows as, an idiot circus.
All right. Well, we will be back next week, and I might be happy or I might be... I'll either be the happiest I've ever been or
back to normal.
Or back to, just normal. Just back to normal, to resume normal transmission.
That'll be fun.
And we will, good luck to your team if they're playing this weekend.
Yeah.
And let's see how it goes. See you then.